Welcome to the Wednesday Team Prosperity Weekly Meeting. This week, we're going to get back to basics. So we're going to get into some things that help us understand, what's happening, the opportunity that affords us, what it takes to be successful, and then, how does that all relate to today, right now? So remember, you are driving this business. You're driving your ship. So if you want to go right, go left, go forward, you're steering the ship. So if you want to drive this into a black hole, that's your option. You have the right to do that. But you need to understand that as you're maneuvering through here, what you're doing to set yourself up and your business is going to have ripple effects. And if you don't do it the right way in the beginning, the ability to do what you're trying to do, which is build distribution, just is never going to happen. So last week, we talked about the first P of business. And really, the first P of business is people. People are literally the lifeblood of your business. Without the people, you don't have anything. So that's why you need to actively keep building your audience while continuing to keep them happy about what you have or what you can do for them. Provide value to the people. We talked about this before. When you provide value to the people in the marketplace, then it gives you a position of power in the conversation because you provided value. It also helps you in continuing directing those conversations to next action steps. So this week, like I said, we're going to be talking about just getting back to basics, understanding where we are, what's happening, the opportunity, what we need to capitalize on that, and how do we leave this meeting today or the recording when you watch it, and what do you need to do. So first of all, we need to understand, and this is not breaking news once again, that money matters. You're seeing everywhere right now, markets are cracking, inflation is high. So whether somebody has an emotional attachment to money and they love money, or whether they dislike and hate money, both sides have to realize money matters. Money's an integral part of our life. It's a tool. We're not going to sidestep or get around the fact that money is part of life. So money matters more than ever right now with what's going on. So you have a news trending topic to talk about. And then what we do is we bring the money game into the technology game. And we talked about this. If you look at how wealth has been created over the last quarter century, it's by having innovative technology, having ownership of that technology, and that builds wealth as that network adoption takes place. What we do, guys, if you tried to bring this out without technology, 25, 30 years ago, people's head would explode. They wouldn't be able to do the computations and the calculations and keep up with this. But with a piece of technology that does all the hard work for us, it's very easy for our clients to take power, create peace of mind, take control of their personal finances, and actually create a lifestyle they desire versus, like we've been talking about, just drifting into one from having no plan of action. So what that means is that if you're talking to people and something sounds to them impossible or too good to be true, that's their personal perception. But the fact remains that, people lie, numbers don't. Technology changes the way we live, work, engage, communicate. So yes, the only impossible journey is the one they're never going to begin. So we always have choices for our clients. So they don't want to take the journey. They don't want to use the technology. They don't want to carve out the lifestyle that we're, setting in the education meeting. Then that's up to them. But it's not impossible. It does work. And the right people will see this. Of course, people are going to have questions, but it's not your job all day just to rebuttal somebody down to their nubs to the point they give up and become a client. We want clients who are excited to work with us, who are excited about the possibilities, and who are going to, fulfill the expectations and get out there and create user-generated content, share their story, give us referrals, give us testimonials. So once again, if you're having to pull somebody up the hill, it's probably a conversation that you want to end. So there's a paradigm shift, and going back to basics, you need to understand that people are confused. When people are confused and you can come to the marketplace with answers that make sense to them, you establish authority, create rapport, trust, credibility. Now you've got the ability to get in front of them and really help them because things are changing. We talk about a paradigm shift, that great American dream, which we still believe is alive and well, but we grew up hearing, go to college, get a job, buy a house, pay your mortgage, save a little each month, and you'll be set for life. Well, we can kind of already laugh at this because we understand it just doesn't work anymore. It worked, and it was rock solid advice because our grandparents and our great grandparents, they lived in the same house for their entire life. They had one job for their entire life. They lived on one income. They retired with a pension. They had no credit card debt. They saved a little money consistently. They could count on Social Security. They planned on being retired for only a few years. So look at this. I mean, none of this is in effect anymore. This is like outdated material, outdated advice. So if people are working with the wrong information, outdated advice, they're not going to be able to win in this new game, this paradigm shift. So what we have to understand is today, we'll move 4 to 6 times in our life. I moved 4 to 6 times probably in a short period of time, one time in my life. Have 3 to 7 jobs during our life. Most people will have probably more than that. They need 2 incomes just to survive and live. They'll never have a pension unless they know how to create one for themselves. They're going to struggle with credit card debt. They're going to save very little money, and they're going to worry about Social Security being there. For people of certain ages, I tell them, don't count on Social Security. If it comes there, great. It's a piece of your financial plan you weren't expecting. It'll be there. But if you expect it and it's not there, it's going to cause financial chaos. And guys, we're going to be retired for decades. So we have to understand that if we don't create a plan of action, those golden years, that standard of living is going to be pretty destitute. So what does that mean? Well, when we have a paradigm shift and we have all these things happening, people have the wrong information. It's an opportunity for you to go out in the marketplace and win. And I'm not talking about just win yourself. I'm talking about win on your side, win on the client side, win inside your organization, win for the company. It's a win, 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 win all the way around, but only if you're going to take action, because Ray Kroc's 3 rules for success: be at the right place at the right time, recognize that opportunity. So if we've got 1 and 2, which I definitely think we have here, the only thing that you've got to do is take massive action. So if we're at the right place at the right time and we recognize the opportunity, why wouldn't somebody take massive action to capitalize? Well, it's because there's some deficiencies there. They're lazy, they're fearful, they've just stopped thinking, they're blaming others, they're wasting time, they just don't want it. They're entitled, they're negative, they have no goals, they have no quality, they think small, they just don't believe. So understand that if you've got 1 and 2, 3 is up to you. And if you're not taking 3, that massive action, it's probably because something's happening on your side that you need to fix in order to open that pathway so that you can take advantage of this opportunity that we laid forth. Remember, if you treat your business like a hobby, it's going to pay you like a hobby. Hobbies don't make you money. They're usually very, very expensive. Hobbies are a pastime, you know. Treat your business like a business. If you don't get serious about your money, you'll never have serious money. Same thing with a business. You don't get serious about your business, it's not going to be a serious business. And once again, hobbies don't make money, and they're usually time consuming and expensive. So you've got to get ready. And, you know, we were talking about this before the meeting started today about vetting people that come into your organization to make sure that, you know, those 3 rules of success, to make sure they've got an opportunity to take massive action. Because if not, it's a disqualifier, because we don't need spectators. We need people to come in and help us with our mission, with our build out, with our distribution. There's a lot of things going on with the money game, with the paradigm shift. There's also a lot been happening over the last few years with digital disruption. So if you understand, like we talked about, where the wealth has been created, technology, ownership of that technology, changing the way people live, work, engage, communicate, then digital disruption is itself a force, and it can take market share from the old players and give that to the new players. What that means for us, it's paved a way for entrepreneurs like us to come in and, you know, transfer that market share from traditional to digital, and really from the traditional producer inside the industry to the entrepreneur. So that opportunity, that being at the right place, the right time, this is what it looks like for me. There is a wave building, a tsunami building, and it's crashing. That tsunami is full of opportunity, but it's also full on the client side of things that if the client doesn't understand what's happening, if they don't get the help that we're offering right now, that wave is going to come crashing down on them instead of them learning how to basically surf it out. So huge opportunities in the marketplace for what we do, for the education, the technology, the back end products and services. Will you take massive action? That's going to be up to you. If not, if you're stuck, take a stand, make a line in the sand moment. If you're not getting what you want out of life, ever wonder why all your problems involve you? If you're addicted to comfort, if you rationalize your situation and justifying your positions, remember, you're either growing or dying, growth or decay, and you've got to become your biggest fan. So if things aren't working correctly, yes, you've got to fix it, but you've also got to learn how to talk yourself up, go into the day and not be so hard on yourself. And even in the very beginning stages of your business, you got to celebrate the small victories, learn how to turn problems into projects, concentrate on solutions over problems. And at the end of the day, guys, when all of this is coming out and you see the opportunity, you see the time and the place that we're at right now, I just really want to know, when I'm talking to, for example, both potential business partners and clients, who's coming with me? And when I talk about on the business side, who's coming with me, this is what I mean. Does that person I'm talking to, they have the desire to dominate the market? Are they going to do what's going to get results and continue to do that? Are they going to be active and accountable? Are they going to refuse to give in or give up? That's the business plan that I'm looking for. When I'm looking to bring on partners, this is what I'm trying to evaluate in the conversations, because if not, might be able to pivot to the client side. Can't do that in the conversation. Don't try to make people into what they're not. Throughout the last few years, guys, we've defined the business problem. We've created the business plan. We've tested it. Does it work? No. Go back to the drawing board. Does it work? Yes. Continue. So we know that we have something that works. All you have to do is just follow the lead, have some grit, determination, dig your heels in a little bit, so to speak, to make sure that you get past what we call the survival period. Once you get past the survival period, you're going to see your business grow. That survival period, can't skip it. So understand what you're going through. That idea plus hard work times the time plus the discipline, that's going to equal the success. You can't just have an idea, a solution that is going to work in the marketplace. You got to bring it to the marketplace. You've got to make sure the marketplace knows about it. And you got to continually hit the marketplace with what we do, which is value. And Grant Cardone says, pay the price today so you can pay any price tomorrow. It's a journey. You can't skip the process, guys. Remember, going back to basics means that when you evaluate your business activities, you have to have income producing activities every single day. If you're in a business, but you're not making money, then you're not really having a business. You're in business, but it's not really a income producing business. So if you don't make money in your business, it's going to turn into a hobby. And then, hobbies, there's nothing there. So when you look at the opportunity to spend your time and invest your time every single day with your business, it's not about doing the things that you probably want to do. It's about tiering that activity. The most uncomfortable activity that you can possibly do every day is going to be the activity that makes you the most money. That stuff that you like doing, picking out a pretty picture to post or looking through Facebook or whatever it might be, that in actuality is a waste of time. That's costing you money. So understand, what do you have planned for the week that's going to produce income? Discipline, discipline, discipline. You've got to give things enough time. Remember, if you're running anything, you have to give it at least 90 days before you can really evaluate what is happening or what's not happening. And then if stuff's not happening, you don't change everything at one time. Change one thing at a time. What did that do to the process? Did it help? Did it hurt? Go back, alter something else. There's no such thing as it doesn't work. It's only feedback. Don't get frustrated, say, oh, this isn't working. Learn from it, get the feedback, improve it, and move on. We're a digital marketing organization that affords you guys a lot of advantages in the marketplace, but you have to understand who you are, how you're operating, and you got to keep learning. So when you're talking about getting back to basics, this is a competition. It's an internal competition within the company. It's an external competition within the industry. If you're not continuing to learn, remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. If you're not continuing to learn, other people out there are continuing and they'll surpass you. They'll make more money. One of the things you have to understand is that your income power, your earning potential has a lot to do with your ability to keep learning and implementing those things that you've learned. And then you got to get better. So as you build your business, whether you're a marketer, manager, educator, you've got to get better at what you do, working with other people, making sure other people as a manager are in the right place at the right time so that business is flowing through. If you've got a happy organization that is making money, that's going to have a positive ripple effect. On the other hand, if it's chaos, chaotic, people are unhappy, it's going to have a negative ripple effect. Just continue to get better at what you do. And by doing that, you're setting the example for your organization. Now you can ask them to do the same exact thing. And then stop doing what doesn't work. Remember, if something doesn't work, take the feedback, learn from it, improve it, but don't continue to bang your head against the wall and expect different results. Also, getting back to basics, also, you have to have a forward-thinking mentality. Think about our business, guys. What's the point of resistance for scalability? You know, we talked about that first P of business last week, which is people. And really, the point of resistance for scalability for your business is people. You know, we don't need money for infrastructure. You know, all that's laid out. So as you bring in clients, as you bring in qualified partners, they're going to help you with your distribution mission. And once you guys have enough people surrounding you, watch what happens in terms of the hockey stick growth that you're looking for. Back to basics means that you have to know your numbers. You can't, if you're going to sell your vision for the future of your organization, if people are buying into that future and they come in and you have no idea what you're doing or no idea how to lay out something to get them to their goals, that's going to be a problem. People are going to leave you. So you have to know your numbers, not only to know what's working, but what's not working. So what is working, you can start to share with your organization. The quicker that you get people off to a faster start, the more that you can trailblaze the path and preemptively overcome obstacles that you had before they even have it, smoother ride and smoother road that you can give your partners, the more chance they're going to stick around. Remember, there's a big difference between networking and marketing. One of the really the skills of a business like this is just learn how to network. Talk to people. Hey, what do you do? How are things going? You know, the typical kind of almost like a blind date. If you've ever been on a blind date, you know, you really don't have to do much but ask questions. Same thing here in the open marketplace, when you're just networking with no preset hidden agenda, it's easy to ask people, what do you do? Do you like it? You know, what's been going on? And from that, when you get other people to talk, you're going to get information. And when you get information, you can uncover a problem that you have a solution for, that now you can direct to an action step. If you're trying to direct people to an action step without uncovering the problem from the information that you provided the solution for, it's not going to go anywhere. People aren't going to understand why they should take that action step. So understand, yes, marketing is important. Networking can get you a velocity into your business that is easy, non-threatening conversations, and that you won't mind doing and repeating on a daily basis. Back to basics means that if you're going to be involved in something, and we talked about this a little bit earlier, you got to bet big on this. You got to bet your professional life. If you believe in this like we do, bet on it. Put some chips behind it. You know, work with people who deserve your time and not need your time. And that's on both sides of the business. Remember, not forcing pieces that don't fit. On the client side, we want to help people that help themselves. On the partner side, same thing, a little bit different story. And then you got to execute. You've got to make things happen. And the reason is because you're going to lose money. You have that strategy, that game plan, and then you have the lack of execution, and that gap, that's a lot of money. That's a lot of business falling through the cracks, you know, not being recognized. So yes, having a great strategy and a vision, very, very, very important. That's going to propel you to action. But that action and execution is what's going to, you know, create or not create the type of income and revenue that you're looking for. So we're not going to go through this whole list, but we talked a little bit about this earlier when you talk about the Ray Kroc's 3 rules for success. When you're also talking about what else is going on, if you're not taking action, it's usually from a lack of a vision that, like I said, propel you to action. But within that, you know, what's going on? You know, what's going on with you that's stopping you? Because we talked about this before. Once you fix yourself, it's a lot easier to build a business. It's a lot easier to manage, coach, mentor, train, support other people. When you're struggling internally and you're not getting things done, much, much harder to do that. So remember, the combination of the client side, the partner side, that's a juggling act. And sometimes that's a very fluid conversation. It might start here, go over here with a pivot, but understand that what you're doing on a daily basis is twofold, two-sided. You're building the client side, what we call the book of business, and you're building the partner side, which we call the agency business. Good mix of both is going to get you to active as well as passive income. Back to basics means you got to get obsessed with helping people. If you understand what we're trying to do and what that can do for people in their own lives, then the money will come if you get obsessed with helping people, get obsessed with helping clients, get obsessed with helping partners. If you just get obsessed with helping people, you'll find all the things inside this business that will come back to you that you're looking for. We're betting, and most agencies bet on the distribution model. I'm not here to build a book of business, over X period of time. I'm here to build nationwide distribution of products and services, because the goals that I have are big, can never be accomplished by a book of business. So, you want to attract people, and if they want to build a book of business, that's fine. But what you're really looking for is those people who share your vision for the distribution model, because dedicated distribution partners who can help you, bundle up these products and services with custom dedicated distribution. When you've got business happening all over the country, and you've got different sales teams and organizations working independently from you that you help set up, guys, there's a lot of money to be made. Financial services is a huge industry. What we're doing allows you not to have to compete in that industry, but that innovation allows you to step aside, be different, and not have the same message. And then once you understand how to build, it becomes easier. Because once you get that commitment from them on the front side, how do you lock in a good partner? Lock them in with ownership, right? So you want to make sure that as you're building these agencies, that if you've got good partners, lock them with ownership, because people are not going to leave if they have something to leave behind. If they have nothing to leave behind, it's a lot easier to leave. So understand, distribution partners are going to be locked in with ownership. Like we said, guys, the business works. We've worked on it. We've improved it. We've got a model that we feel is very, very fluid, very, very attainable for the agents that we bring on. So the lack of focus and the lack of positivity is going to equal issues in your business. Got to fix yourself, and that's going to allow you to build your business and then also attract those talented people that you're looking for. Don't panic if things aren't going well. You just need to organize yourself. More progress equals less stress. Don't get stressed out and concentrate on problems. Take a step back, start looking at solutions. And then stop thinking that you're going to build a 21st century company with 20th century ideas, models, procedures, systems, etc. You can't do new things with old ways of thinking. It all starts with you guys. So this whole opportunity starts with you understanding the opportunity, taking action to take advantage of the opportunity. And like I said, getting that mindset, being obsessed with helping people. You can put the odds in your favor by just doing simple stuff. Show up every day, first of all, work hard, be accountable, stay positive, ignore the haters. And this is something I've tried to explain. As you get bigger and as you try to help more people, as you try to make more money, as you get bigger in the marketplace, you're going to have haters. You're going to have negativity. That's actually a sign things are going well. So you have to understand how to interpret that. And then also you have to keep your vision. Your vision, like I said, is going to propel you to action. If you don't have a strong vision, it's not motivating you to take action. You got to go back to the starting point, develop some type of vision that actually excites you. And then it starts at the top. So not only with you, but with us guys, and we're going to make, a concerted effort over the next couple of weeks to help you guys, plan for the second half, help you develop a second half playbook. Remember, once we get past the summer months, that August, September, October, that's really the meat of the year for, a lot of people in our industry. You can make a ton of money in a 90 to 120 day cycle if you learn how to prepare. So as people are coming off the summer, getting into the fall, if you work through the summer, you've got a pipeline. So there's a difference between, kind of waiting until that time period comes around versus preparing. And we're also going to have some internal training programs, on social media, automation, the funnels that we use. We'll be announcing some of those classes, and you can catch those live or recorded. And that's really all we've got for this week, guys. We just want to kind of help you understand as things change in the macroeconomic environment, stock market, real estate market, during that chaos affords us opportunity. We have answers, we have solutions, we have things that make sense that will actually teach people not just to survive during this period of time, but actually thrive.